Bucks here. Today we got the best budget cards at every level, from uncapped to 50K and 5K and under for the more budget options. Now, obviously, I'm not going to include the guys you get for free through like field passes or anything like that, or you know, rookie premieres, right? Because you can't really get those. I guess you can get Aiden Hutchinson still, and yeah, he's definitely got a chance here to make the list, but. Let's go ahead and go through quarterbacks first, since everybody loves quarterbacks. As for like the best quarterback with no budget, it's going to be this one called No One. They're all terrible. Like, okay, in previous years, like you use pocket passers and they'd make the passes, and scramblers might be a little wild, but they got more mobility, but basically they're all the same accuracy as like a drunkard in their car, like driving through a patch of trees and into one. I don't know. That was a terrible thing. But basically, it's stupid. You can't pass the ball deep in this Madden. Medium throws are 50-50, especially like sideline corner routes and stuff. I seriously don't know how to throw in this game, and it's kind of disgusting. So it's really a West Coast game, right? Posts and like drags, or like throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage or just run it. So I don't know. I mean, like, there isn't anybody that good. I guess if I went like lower budgets, I would take Trevor Lawrence and Will Levis there for the 50K and under and the 5K and under as far as those cards, because you know you will need somebody, but I definitely don't recommend spending a lot. My favorite one that I've unironically used, you know, I'm a Steelers fan, and my favorite guy on the entire game is Lamar Jackson because he's fast. Right, because like Kenny Pickett, like the 1 year, what's all this? Why do they have a auto playing ad? Every single year, right? Quarterbacks start the game accurate, fine, good. We finally got as the Steelers a great early season card, fast, throw power, good accuracies, and he's trash. And so really, you're just, I don't know. I do a lot more quarterback scrambling now. And so Lamar is it. I don't know why this game plays this way. It's very disgusting. They're like basically forcing a run meta down our throat, or throw it short instead of, you know, the vertical attacking one. All right. As for halfback, for Fred Taylor's my uncapped one, I highly recommend either checking out my second YouTube channel or by TikTok, because there was some like the jukebox on Fred Taylor is probably going to get nerfed this year. That's how crazy it is. It's absolutely absurd how big jukebox is. And then for Mostert and Herbert, basically went with good cards. Mostert specifically too, just fast. Like you want to get into the open field and run and out, and like once you're open, you want to get touchdowns. So like basically, you know, Khalil Herbert's a nice, pretty good budget guy if I remember correctly. I really want to see, because I know his price went up in last day. Herbert's 43K now. I think it was he always 43, or is he a little bit lower than this? But anyways. Yeah, you're not going to break a whole lot of tackles with like more budget-based running backs, but like if you can just like out stick skill them, get to the open field and run for touchdowns. All right, for fullback, who do we got here? I got Patrick Hard. If you want like a straight like fullback dive guy, or a guy to like plow some dudes, Patrick Ricard is your man, okay? Franco Harris is more like a Swiss Army knife. You can put him at tight end. You can basically send him out on routes. You can hand the ball off to him because he's pretty fast. He's a new legend this weekend. I think that's a really good card for your team if you kind of want that air fullback. I don't really use the fullback a lot. So Franco Harris, maybe I'm mostly a goal line guy, so maybe Ricard's that guy. I can do like a fullback handoff, and like him at that 305 pounds is going to have a hard time not falling forward on that. But Franco does a pretty good job himself at 230 falling forward. Obviously not as insane, but he is a little bit faster. You can see truly the lead block at 86 versus 81. On like dives, you probably want Ricard. CJ Ham, and then Franco Harris is 78 card for the under 5K. CJ Ham is a well-balanced fullback, I think. So unless you're in I form a lot, I would not recommend spending a lot. Just get a guy that's like decently fast, because you don't need to hold the block for a long time with your fullback. Really likes a lead block or a run block too. Doesn't need to be like insanely high, because all you have to do is really like kind of like impact the guy, make sure they can find him, impact the guy. You got to get speed out there. And then basically you're running around them because like the animation takes long to shed. So that's kind of what I'm looking at fullbacks. So I wouldn't recommend, unless you're passing or doing a whole lot of things with fullback, not spending a lot on that position if it's not in your field. All right, receiver. Let's do the first three receivers first, and then unbudgeted. So Devin Hester, Ocho Cinco, Jefferson. You can kind of put them anywhere you want. The only, like, the wide receiver that I like the most is maybe the outside apprentice on Ocho Cinco if you do want to run C routes there or post patterns, that kind of thing, if you want that outside apprentice, because it is nice. I don't think we have a slot apprentice in the game yet, but that would be kind of cool to get one soon, or a hot route master. But Devin Hester and Justin Jefferson here. Jefferson, I can see the arguments out for Hill if you want a faster guy, but Hester's plenty enough speed, and Jefferson's made some really good grabs for me. Really hung onto the ball well in coverage also. So the wide receiver position, I think like this year, obviously George Pickens would be up there if he was unlockable for a couple more weeks. He's away from us, but I really don't think you can go too wrong. You want top end speed, obviously 85, 84, 83 for Adams. Oof. So yeah. I also think other guys that'll play well for you is basically maybe not A.J. Brown with only 81 speed. Diggs, I don't love at 82 speed. Unless you got theme teams. Cooper Kupp was okay for me. He wasn't as insane as I'd hoped he was going to be as like a slot. He did drop the ball a little bit in traffic, but he does only have 79 catch in traffic. So I guess that isn't, unheard of. Versus 84 catch in traffic. I feel like Jefferson hangs onto the ball a little bit better. So those are my top 3 right now. Decent size guys, not like, Chad Johnson, but they got good speed and good almost everything right now, especially separating man coverage too, which I see a lot of man online because zone is so bad. Kadarius Toney is probably the best card you can upgrade to. So like if you have a full team of 5K budget players, you might want to, your first splurge might want to be Kadarius Toney. You can get him free too because he's that 84 you get from the B&D stuff, or I got him for free. I'm not sure that's still available, but this 85 speed Toney is really nice. 5'11", so not like super tall. I guess you guys can't really see that well. There we go. But I highly recommend this card. One of my favorite cards I've used this year. And yeah, Kadarius Toney. Oh wait, he actually is up over 50K now. Well, he's good enough to go ahead and spend the extra 4K on. And then Dobbs and Brown. I think at the speed and especially the under 5K. These guys aren't that great at like being receivers, but they are fast. Thornton's tall too, so there's a nice big body out there, a little bit bigger of like a catch radius almost. You can box out guys better with bigger bodies. That's like the biggest thing. So even though you can't really you can catch it in traffic, but it's not as replicable as it was in the previous years, like Madden 23, where you could just like box out guys and just go up and jump. So there still is a little bit of it, but it's not nearly as much. Okay, so tight end, who do we got? In my opinion, the best tight end in the game is Kyle Pitts. And then Irv Smith and Rucker will get there. But I think Kyle Pitts is my favorite one because he's huge and fast. Now what? Kelsey, 81 speed. Best tight end in the NFL. Andrew's really good. But really, like, with the amount of man that I see, there's a gnat Kyle Pitts here, huh? But I go with this 84 speed Kyle Pitts. I like it, right? I like 6'6". I like the ability to run away from a lot of players that'll be matched up against him. Obviously, there'll be some DBs that'll be a little bit faster than him, but he's pretty close to top-end speed as a tight end at 6'6". He's made some really freaky plays for me. He gets through tackles well, too. So what's his break tackle? His break tackle's not even that good. I think it has to do probably with size and weight versus like the smaller DBs trying to take him down in the secondary. So if you guys are using a lot of tight ends, I highly recommend that Kyle Pitts, or just like work your tight end into the game quite a bit. I also really like this Irv Smith card. Now he's a little bit different of a player since he's only 6'2". You're missing 4 inches. That's what she said. Speed 84 still though, which is really cool. We talk about man coverage taking over, so his route running's not exactly gonna shred man, but like drags and stuff, he can make the ball. He can do things with the ball. He's gonna be a little quicker and run away from folks. And the last one was Ruckert, I believe. Spelt it wrong. Jamie Ruckert, 1,000 coins for 81 speed. That's, I think, the best you can kind of do. A good introductory tight end. Not really going to, set the world on fire as far as route running, but I do actually not mind the catching at 79, catching traffic. For a car that's only 1K. That's not bad. I mean, remember Cooper Kupp's catch of traffic was only 79, so not bad there for that Rucker for receiving, but obviously not a run blocker, right? If you want like a high-end run blocker, just buy a tackle and put him at tight end if you're a run-first type of team. But there is obviously the value of having a tight end that can go run routes and block. But really, the defensive ends you're going to be going up against as a tight end are almost always going to have better block shed than you have run block. Unless they're running somebody like Parsons, who they kind of like screwed out of block shed this year. All right. For the offensive line, I'm just going to put them all at once. I'll let you pause the video right now if you want to see what offensive lineman for what budget levels. So the minimum is 5K and under. And realistically, the offensive line, it does matter, but I feel like the other positions on your offense in Madden matter a little bit more. Now, in real life, offensive line is right behind quarterback in level of importance in my mind as far as making an offense work. You know, not offensive coordinator related. Offensive coordinator is super important, but in this game, though, they have a hard time mimicking real life. Because in real life, okay, if Charlie Heck went against Lawrence Taylor in real life, it'd probably be like just like you just run past them and sack them every time. In Madden, there is disengage cooldowns, I'll just call it, where if you engage with somebody, you're not going to get those super wins every time. You will get super wins with abilities, but you don't see them in Madden because, for better or worse, they said our players hate those, automatic sacks. So they do put a little bit of like a second or two timer on these linemen. So that's why like linemen in real life matter to not get your quarterback killed. But in this game, it's not actually you. It's somebody with, no ability to get injured, and there's a timer and a cooldown. So overall, there you go for your offensive line. Explanation why I think it should be updated last on your offense versus your actual skill positions. Okay, so let's go for defensive line. Let's do that. Let's do the top three first for unbudgeted. Now, I think I didn't add. I should run / Hutchinson right here at left end. Javon Kearse, Hutchinson. I think Kearse is slightly better, but I don't mind the take of Hutchinson at left end. They're both very good cards. Position, left end. All right, so Aiden's up to 390 now. Kearse at 344. I do believe Kearse, with his higher block shed, higher speed, higher power move, higher finesse move, is easily the better choice of the two. And I don't know why you'd say otherwise. I guess, I don't know, spin, swim. What does Aiden have? Aiden has no spin, but yes bull. So I think Kearse is probably better, but Aiden is honorable mention for that top one. And then I go Aaron Donald there. He's more of like an interior, but like they actually gave Aaron Donald pretty good speed, so he's definitely a good edge this year. Warren Sapp, Dexter Lawrence is your 3-tech, 1-tech are a good combo there. I think weight really matters this year as far as run shedding. Like I've had guys that are like low overall players that are like 350 pounds. Who is it? I just feel like they get off and they shed past blockers. For some reason, weight factors in a block shed a little bit more than maybe it should. All right, and then for the budget guys, you're going to see Kearse again here. And then let's go ahead and show the whole names. Let's just put DT out there. I think, so a lot of this, I went left end, right end on both of them. And then you can see with linebackers too. I made them all edges, okay? And I think this matters more when we get to the linebacker position. But your left end, right end, if you're in like a nickel or a 4-3 or a dime it depends on what formation you're in. It's going to kind of play how they want to play. I think on the edge, so if you're like in a 4-down lineman set, the left end, right end, or your outside linebackers we sub there, you want speed to contain the quarterback, finesse move, power move, block shit, that kind of stuff. But if you're in the interior, I kind of want more power move and block shed because I feel like you'll be trying to defeat double teams. I think those seem to work better, so you want a little bit heavier there if you're going to be on like a 3, like an interior, like a 3-4 type defense. So it really depends. I went more with edges right here. They still have good, stats overall. They still can play maybe like a 3 down lineman set if you're under like dollar or something. Don't get me wrong, they can still do that. But maybe you want somebody heavier if you're going to stop the run with a 3 down lineman set instead of the guys that I have right here at end. So don't just like plug them and expect them to do the job because there's different roles even called the same names, okay? All right. And then for left outside linebacker, maybe I'll just do them both. And did I forget to put... did there was, yeah, I think I forgot to put, because I put this all together before the legends came out. And who came, which legend came out? I don't, maybe I'm wrong. No, it was Curse and 8. Yeah, no, I'm right. That's fine. I personally, if I'm going edges, so these are my edge choices, right? Gary, Walker's like huge. That guy's pretty good. Ward, and then Arnold right here at your under 5K numbers. I really think linebackers and ends have kind of been balanced out. Previous years, you always want linebackers to get better stats, just the way the logarithm worked. But right now, I think if I, like, my current starting 4 is Hutch, Curse, Donald, and Sapp. But I think I might go back to TJ Watt because I'm a Steelers fan. And then maybe I will go back to Dexter Lawrence in the middle. And then my other edge will be like Curse. So I think that's going to be my long-term thing. So even though Hutch might be a little bit better than TJ, I still got the love of TJ here in my soul. So anyways, those are all my best edges and choices for each budget from 50K, under 5K. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at middle linebacker. Now, here's why I went nothing with edges. And the middle linebacker here even, you really don't want to use linebackers in coverage roles. Like, as you guys saw at the top, you're like, whoa, why didn't you put Luvu, right? Highest overall, or right there, tied with 87 overall, or JOK. The reason why I don't have drop linebackers, which are like these two, Luvu and Joke right here, is because they don't jump without lurkers. So now, Junior Seau does get lurker. You have to spend 2 AP to get it. So would you just rather use a safety? I really didn't know too much of Seau. I like playing the run much better being a linebacker at that position versus safety. But as far as like them with no edge rush moves, that good block shit here. Well, he's got terrible block shit, but like with no edge rush moves, I can't really see them being good for a scheme because they can't jump in coverage. Their main responsibility is being coverage linebackers, so they won't be able to lurk there. And they also won't be able to rush the passer. What's their job? Stopping the run. I don't think linebackers do a good enough job stopping the run, reacting to runs to really garner a spot on your starting lineup, except in, let's say, in like goal line formations. And then for these middle linebackers, I went basically with a pure speed just about for Troy Anderson and Owen. All right, corners. Corner. Let's do the top 3 corners in the game. Oh, this was a mistake. So I put AJ Terrell here, who's technically not gettable this week, but I think next week we'll have him. So that's why I put Terrell at CB, whereas Pickens is a few more weeks out, even though he'd be my top 3. So overall, Richard Sherman, and it depends also what your scheme is. Man coverage rating matters. Zone coverage rating matters. Probably more than it has in previous years. Okay? So if your scheme is man, I don't think Richard Sherman's that man for you. 82 man is okay, but I probably, even though, I don't know, maybe go with Jair. Would I sacrifice 2 speed? Because I tried Sherman in man coverage. He was so bad. Again, check out my TikTok with the Sherman one. There was like, okay, dude ran like a 10-yard in route, or a deep in, a dig. And he did it. So Sherman, so basically, here's the receiver, and here's Sherman. Quarterback's over here. Sherman ran. The guy cut in. Sherman did like a 3, like literally went the wrong way, and then the guy beat him like 5 yards. Basically left him uncovered because of how poorly he played the man. So even though Sherman is like the newest legend, man coverage, he was terrible. So 86 speed, high end speed, I would actually look at like sorting. I play mostly zone. Okay, I do play mostly zone. But I do think man coverage is more of the meta, so a lot more people run it. So I would probably go with Ramsey as my number 1 in man coverage here with 85 speed. Jair, 84 speed and 86. That's good too. And then Sauce Gardner. Those would be my dude. Well, Sauce is Nat, so we can't really say him. I can say this Sauce, though. 1 less speed, 1 less man coverage. But still, that's if I had a man coverage, I would go with the higher end man coverage stat, guys. All right, Marlon's even a choice there too for only 189. Well, that's expensive. Only versus 300K. So, next level. So, that's what I'm trying to say is look towards whether you're on a zone or man for how to decide your CBs. Don't just listen to me right here. I run zone. But I really like JC. This JC Horn has played so good for me. I really like this JC Horn. I'm still using him. Right? JC Horn is still a starting corner for me. So even though he's on the budget list, He's still my number 2 corner behind Sherman. Snead, I like Stingley, and then these guys are all just fast. Like, if I have a budget squad, the only thing I don't want to happen is for them to just one-play touchdown me over the head by just running streaks. So you gotta have speed, and like, so when they do catch the ball, I got guys that can run and tackle them too. So even though maybe the tackling isn't as high on budget cards, at least I'm swarming bodies to the ball carrier and forcing them to get those tackle animation breaks instead of just not being able to catch. Because like, not being able to catch them, you literally won't be able to do anything. They're just going to run for touchdowns every time. So that's why speed matters an insane amount on budget squads. All right, free safety. Ed Reed, Jeremy Chin, and then Ed Reed 78. Pretty easy to see why. Jeremy Chin is tall. Ed Reed, like free safety, I play mostly like in like a zone and like a deep third specifically. Depends on what you do. If free safety is your user, if you're in a more man, wait for me to get to the user number. But overall, Ed Reed in a free safety, 90 zone, he's okay. He didn't really make any splash plays for me, but I feel like that's because most offenses are right-handed, so they're attacking the right side of the field with like bunch. And obviously, as the free safety, you're on the left deep part, and you'll rotate over, but. Yeah, I didn't see a whole lot of crazy things out of Reed, but I think that's just because his position in the field didn't really get targeted as much. And also, cover 4 is not nearly as good as it was last year. They don't play in the box. They like bail too much, and they really don't play aggressively like they did last year. So it's also sad to see that he's just basically on mop-up duty for tackles once they catch onto your cover 4, which is terrible. Derwin James, Adrian Phillips, Nick Cross. Nick Cross's card played so good last year. You guys remember that? He got like a weekly wild card that was like cracked out for a while. But Derwin James, tall, good zone, mobile. And then the best users are basically fast and then sort of tall. These aren't like insanely heighted guys. Anderson I think is okay, but they're really just fast. And Cam Curl, I've tried out I've tried out all these taller users, and I think I just like Cam Curl the most. He just seems to have played the best for me. So 85 speed. Does it have to do with change of direction potentially? What is this change of direction? 81. That's not even that phenomenal. I think Derwin James would be a good one, but yeah, 85 speed. Blunt was all right. Maybe I should try him out a little bit more. Maybe I didn't give it a fair shake. But lower end zone, and I prefer like the higher end zone because if I'm not using him, I want something that's a little bit better at the job in zone. So that's the choice. Otherwise, if you're only using maybe 6'1" Blunt versus Cam Curl. Oh, I guess they're around the same height. Never mind. For some reason, I always get Blunt, and I always think he's taller, 6'3", because of Mel Blunt, the famous Pittsburgh Steeler. Delpit's tall, and then I really didn't like Hamilton, 6'4". There was something about this 78 change of direction. It's not even that much lower, but he just felt a little bit slower than I wanted, and I was used to with my other guys. So those are my best budget cards at each level. Video. Hopefully this helped you guys kind of what to look for when you're looking for cards out there. Thanks, bye.